In this video, we're gonna try to predict Dragon Ball's future couples, because although love and relationships were never a big part of Dragon Ball, I always loved how Akira Toriyama paired his characters. The way he created the Dragon Ball's family tree is really clever, and I think this aspect is really missing from modern Dragon Ball. The only new relationship we got was Trunks and May. And speaking of them, you know what would be really cool? It's if future Trunks and present Trunks don't end up with the same person. I know it's kinda late for that and that they started to show the romance between them since back in Battle of Gods, but the difference between future and present Trunks was always emphasized by Akira. One had his entire family and friends killed, while the other grew up in a loving family that happens to be one of the richest in the world. So with such different lives, it only makes more sense for them to fall for different people. Maybe present Trunks can end up with this new girl from the manga. She is in Goten's class and she seems to have a crush on him. I understand what they are trying to do in Trunks and May. They are going with a classic storyline with love transcending time and things like that. But I really think it's better for the two to end up with different families and by result, different kids. It will only show more how different the characters are and open the door to telling more interesting storylines. The next one in the list is Trunks' sister, Bula. I see a lot of people online pairing her with Goten, and while I think it's a really cool idea that will finally turn Goku, Vegeta and Bulma into a real family, it will also make Goten marry his best friend's sister, which will be so fun to watch. I will be really happy seeing it happen, but I think there are better contenders for Bula's husband. The first one being Dr. Hedo. I know you didn't expect that one, but hear me out, I can explain. First, I think the couple dynamics in Dragon Ball are getting too similar, so it will be fun to see different kind of couples. A boss girl goofy husband couple is a classic cliche that we see all over media, but it will be a first in Dragon Ball. Also, the Dragon Ball Super manga showed that Bula is super smart, just like her mother, so it will be fitting for her to marry a genius since they will have so much in common. Hedo is also currently working at Capsule Corp, so all the conditions are there for them to fall in love. They will be the first fully non-fighter couple, but if they combine their genius, I'm sure they can make a super strong android kids. But if you really want a more classic couple for her, I think Bula will fit well with Cabba. Cabba marrying his mentor's daughter would also be a fun one to watch. It could also result in the first 75% Saiyan character, and it can make Bula go live in Universe 6 Saiyan planet, which can open so many possibilities. But that would leave Goten without a girlfriend. Goten is a hard one to predict, because until this day, adult Goten hadn't got any personal character arcs, which makes it really hard to choose a wife for him. By the way, I really hated his girlfriend from GT, and I really hope they don't canonize her. A lot of people online were shipping him with Bula when she was introduced in the manga. She is one of Trunks' schoolmates, a black girl that seems to have a lot of attitude. She actually reminds me a lot of Chi-Chi, so it will make sense for Goten to marry a woman that has a personality similar to his mother. It could also result in the first Black Super Saiyan, which would be a massive fan service. That would be cool, but I don't think it's happening. Because if you ask me, Goten should marry Maran. Just because she's a real sweetheart and she deserves a kind-hearted husband like Goten. It will also make Goku and Krillin not only best friends, but family, which will make me so happy. Their son could also be Krillin's student and a strong successor for him, a character that is missing from the story, like I explained in this video. The next one in our list is Pan. I know that she's currently really young, but she will have to find a husband sooner or later. I think it's really important when thinking about adult Pan to not have GT's version in mind. When I think of adult Pan, I think of a mix of Chi-Chi and Videl, so she needs an innocent and kind yet strong husband like Goku and Gohan, and I think no one is a better fit for that than Oob. It will make Pan marry her grandfather's student, similar to Bula if she marries Cabba, and their marriage can also result in the first Divine Saiyan from birth, since it was showed in the manga that Oob was born with divine energy. Imagine their son transforming into Super Saiyan God as his first transformation. Another good candidate to be her husband is a character that we know about, but we haven't seen yet. 17's son. If you don't know, 17 has 3 kids, a boy and a girl twin that he adopted since they reminded him of him and his sister when they were young, and one biological son that I think will be a nice husband for Pan. First, because I guess he will be a good looking kid and it might be fun to have a small storyline where Pan have a crush on him. And that will make it so both Goten and Pan married the kids of the androids, strengthening more Dragon Ball's family tree. And out of all the characters in this video, the one that deserves to find love the most is probably Broly. Because after spending more than 14 years of his life in Vampa, he really deserves a partner. I think that when She-Lai was introduced with him, we all thought that she's going to be his love interest. And I was really excited about it because first, I really like her character, she reminds me of a young Bulma with a modern touch. Also, the relationship could result in the first hybrid Saiyan that's half whatever race she is. But now, the more we see them interact, the more it becomes clear that the relationship is purely platonic, and that they are simply best friends. But if not Shilai, who is the fortunate woman that will be the legendary Super Saiyan's wife? At first, it was really hard for me to find the woman for him, and I thought maybe we need to introduce another Earthling woman for him. It's always cool to have more human hybrid Saiyans. And then it hit me. Why not Kale? I know that I'm kind of taking the easier out here by pairing the two Saiyans with the Berserk transformation, but it just makes so much sense for the Saiyans cursed with that transformation to end up together, because both of them went through the same struggles and they can relate to each other. But for that to happen, Kale's character really needs a rewrite, because right now she's really annoying and Broly deserves better than that. Maybe use the fact that she's gonna be older the next time we see her to give her a character shift. Anyways, Broly needs a wife as soon as possible, because my boy is a 14-year-old virgin right now. But you know what's worse than a 14-year-old virgin? A 70-million-year-old virgin. Because yes, as far as we know, Beerus never had a partner. Which makes no sense, especially when you are a literal god. So I think this should be justified with some lore, like gods of destruction being banned from having partners and families. That would be an interesting concept. Imagine a storyline where we learn that Beerus had a son from a secret relationship, but he had to abandon him to keep both of them safe from being erased for breaking godly rules. And then his son wants revenge from his father and the entire godly system that made him hide his existence for millions of years. That would be a really good antagonist for a future arc. Just hire me, Toei. Anyways, back to relationships. Well, if there is nothing preventing Beerus from finding love, I think we all know the obvious choice for him is Shilai, since they literally showed that he's attracted to her in the last movie. Some people on the internet think that this would lead to a love triangle with Broly. I think this is a horrible idea. Love triangles have no place in Dragon Ball. Plus, like I said, it's clear that Broly and Shilai are just best friends and not lovers. One thing is for sure, with Broly as her best friend and Beerus as her lover, Shilai would be the safest mortal in the entire multiverse. Finally, we have Frieza. This is a weird one, because the guy already have a canon son drawn by Toriyama, which might indicate that he already has a wife. But at the same time, we have never seen a female from Frieza's race, so they might have a different way to reproduce, like the Nameks. Anyways, if I had to choose one character to have an on-screen family, it would be Frieza, because I think it would be a goldmine for some good old classic Dragon Ball humor. It will also allow us to learn a little bit more on how the Frieza Force works. Some slice of life episodes inside the Frieza Force would be so much fun to watch. And as a bonus, I wanted to include one last couple that I want to see, Jiren and Ribrianne. I have zero arguments for why I want to see that, I just love the couple of seconds of interaction they had in the Tournament of Power. Also, Jiren is bald, which according to the manga, it's considered peak beauty in Universe 2, so it makes sense for Ribrianne to fall for him. Tell me in the comments what are the couples you want to see. And until we meet again, take care!